Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. But I'm here to talk about Terrifier 3, which came out in theaters on October 11, 2024, and about the Christians, because apparently the movie was blasphemy. One Reddit user writes, quote, I was watching Terrifier 3 and some parts stood out to me. The part where Sienna had the crown of thorns on her head and Art the Clown whipped her. Is that mocking God? Because I feel like it is. So I'm going to set the record straight and argue that actually the movie is pro-God. Spoiler warning. I'll try not to spoil much, or at least nothing to ruin first-time watchers for this movie. Emphasis on try. Here we go. The movie takes place with Sienna Shaw, played by Lauren Lavera, moving in with her Aunt Jess, Uncle Greg, and Cousin Gabby, because our girl has been through a lot on Terrifier 2, surviving the clutches of Art the Clown, everybody's favorite fictional serial killer since Jason and Freddy Krueger. This guy is today's or Gen Z's horror villain. Sienna Shaw spent 5 years in psychiatric care after her battle with Art the Clown before being released to move in with her cousin. Sienna's brother, Jonathan Shaw, played by Elliot Fulham, is in college. Unlike her brother, Sienna was still struggling with her trauma. This is evident when Sienna is having dinner with Gabby's family and she starts seeing things, her deceased friend Brooke. So she quickly takes her medication in order to calm down. Jonathan, I think, barely has to depend on medication, but he does take it once Sienna calls Jonathan on the phone to tell him that she saw Art the Clown at the mall.
Oh my God!
But she wasn't sure if this was her usual hallucinations until she saw the news about kids getting bombed. Fast forward, Sienna is faced with Art the Clown and the little pale girl who is inside the body of Victoria Haynes, the protagonist from the first movie and was last seen in Terrifier 2, as horribly disfigured and kept inside an asylum. What comes next is epic. The possessed Victoria puts the crown of thorns on Sienna's head, which is a reference to Jesus Christ, who wore the crown of thorns leading up to his crucifixion. While the crown was used to mock Jesus, it was also a symbol of Jesus' sacrifice and love for humanity. Jesus is king. Sienna was being mocked as well. Artie has a corpse nailed in a wall of the living room, just merrily decorating, while the possessed Victoria taunts the helpless Sienna that no one will save her and that God doesn't exist. Sienna, this badass woman Jesus, gets ready to fight Art the Clown once more. So it's interesting to me that Christians are calling this mocking Jesus. In the Bible, Jesus was being mocked by soldiers, which includes being spat on and hit over the head with a stick. In Matthew 27:42, Jesus was laughed at while hanging on the cross. Quote, he saved others, let him save himself if he is the Christ, the chosen of God, end quote. The little pale girl is the soldier or the enemy of Jesus, so it does make me question these protesters' faith, because Terrifier 3 explicitly used a part from the Bible. Like, do these people really read the Bible, or are they just cowards trying to cozy up to God? Another part from Terrifier 3 I didn't mention includes 2 new characters during a shower scene. The 2 are having intercourse, which I feel like is a big trigger on the Christians demographic. But then there's Song of Solomon in the Bible, which is an 8-chapter long erotica between 2 lovers who are allegedly unmarried. Artie does punish them, so you can interpret that as retribution, but regardless, anyone will find the scene to be brilliant in its gore. Christians sugarcoat the Bible, misrepresenting what a biblically accurate angel looks like. You know, these young, beautiful humanoid-looking figure with pair of wings, when in reality they are far from looking like human beings. Then misrepresenting Satan as this ugly creature when he's described as a beautiful angel. But I'll say more on separate videos. So there you have it. You can enjoy the movie without being gaslit into believing the movie is blasphemy. I enjoyed watching Terrifier 3 with my dad. Not as good as the first one, and I think I preferred the second movie a little more than the third. That's not to devalue the movie, because for a Christmas movie with biblical themes that make Santa out to be the bad guy, it was good, and I would watch the movie again for the holidays.